What is up, boys? S1000RR back in another video. I know my bike's a little wet, but I just got done cleaning it. Looks good. I didn't take off the windshield to get all those spots, but it's okay. Let's get a cold start on the 2023 S1000. Today's video is going to be about 5 things I hate about this bike. There's not a lot of them. I love this bike, but 5 things I hate about the 2023 S1000. I really need to clean the back rim better, but it's fucking hard. It's hard. Alright, this is a full disclosure. I'm going to be talking about the bike being stock. Not all the mods I've got done to it, not all of the stuff I've spent money on. This is going to be a full 5 things I hate about the S1000RR when you first get the bike from the dealership, right? So the first thing, number 1, is how quiet the bike is when you first get the S1000RR from the dealership, right? And this is every single S1000RR. As you can tell, this bike is not a stock exhaust at all. It's a very loud exhaust. It's a full titanium Akrapovic headers with the SE Project slip-on. The cat stock is genuinely this big. It's genuinely this big. It is so quiet, and obviously this is not it. I'll see if I can find an example. I know I have it on my phone or something, but it is very, very, very quiet. And if you guys like quiet, that's good for you, but for me, it is not. It's not good. What's up, my man? You buy this expensive of a bike, right? It should be pretty damn loud. Like, it shouldn't be like horrendous loud like this. This is very, very loud, but it should actually have some girth to it and not sound like a vacuum cleaner is the best way I can really describe it. And man, it's getting cold outside, man. Woo! Woo! For all of you guys that don't know, I live in Wisconsin, and September is almost time for the bike to be put away. October is usually when I put my bike away, so that's pretty sad. But anyways, that's number 1. You have to spend around $3,000, $4,000 on the exhaust alone. And if you want to put it on yourself, that's up to you. But I personally had a shop do it. So I think I spent around $4,000 total. The titanium Akrapovic was $1,800. And the SE Project slip-on was like $950. So that's $3,000 right there, you know, like at round up. And then I spent around $450 to have it put on. And number 2 is the stock tune that you get for this bike. Sorry if my mic's a little bit cutty in and out. It's very windy out. The stock tune that you get with this bike is pretty horrendous, is the best word for it, right? You have no torque in the lower RPMs like you're supposed to on a 1000cc bike. And I swear on my life that a 2007 Gixxer 1000, let's just say, would beat this bike without it tuned. Like, I swear on my life. I haven't tested it, but that's how like bad it really is. It's like right when you get up to 8,000 RPMs, it finally kicks on. It's like, oh, the torque's here now, which is very unpredictable. First off, it's kind of unsafe when you're going through twisties and stuff like that. You want all the power to be there at all times, so your use of throttle response, your use of all this stuff, so you're not getting unpredicted throttle when you need it most, right? So let's just say you're going through the twisties, you're hovering around 6,000, 7,000 RPMs, and you crack the throttle a little bit more, and all of a sudden it goes on you. Like, it really goes on you, which is pretty damn unsafe, because then your rear tire can spin out. It can all do all this stuff. Let's not name all of it, right? But it is pretty damn unsafe. But with the tune, Friend Tune, I love you. Use my affiliate code S1000RR, all caps, no spaces, for 5% off, by the way. And this isn't me just being like affiliated with their product. I love their product. I've had their product months before I got the affiliation. and I loved it so much that I asked for the affiliation myself, right? And they gave it to me. So that's not me being a suck up just because, you know, I'm affiliated with them. It is 100% true that you need a tune. I recommend a Brent tune. All these other tunes, they don't seem as good, or they've just been coming out. Brent tune has been doing this for years now. I think since like 2010, I want to say they've been doing this. So 13 years, and I might even be wrong. They might have been doing it for a longer. So, dead raccoon on the road. So go get yourself a Brent tune right when you get this bike unlocked, and this goes for the 2024 and everything. Get yourself a Brent tune because you are going to need it. You're not going to be satisfied with the bike without a tune. I mean, yes, sure, it's still fast, but it feels like a 600, and I know that's crazy. That's crazy to think about, but it genuinely feels like a 600 when you're getting on the throttle and then the power comes on, right? If you guys ever driven a 600, you know what I'm talking about. This feels the same exact way untuned, but I'll put videos up now of the difference between it being tuned and not tuned. I'm gonna give you guys a little pull of what it's like before and after the Brent tune. It's not gonna be in this video, but this is gonna be full throttle. I'm gonna do a 60-mile-per-hour pull. Oh my God! Oh my fucking God! And as you can see, it is a lot faster with the tune. A lot faster. And I tested it on this road right here. This is my untuned road, and my tuned road was going that way. And it is a lot faster. A lot faster. So please go get yourself a tune if you really want to like have the bike of what it's meant to be when you bought the bike, right? And that was number 2. Nothing else really to be said about that. I stopped at my favorite place to talk about stuff. There is a lake right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. The trees are in the way. I really wish they cut down these trees anyways. The third thing that I hate about this bike, do not mind that missing bolt. My detailer did that. He owes me a bolt. I'm just waiting for it. Is the mirrors. The mirrors are really ugly. Really ugly. I don't know, I personally do not like them. They work very well in a sense of what's behind you and stuff like that. Like you can see very clearly of what's behind you, all that stuff. But they look very ugly. It really diminishes the look on the bike in itself. Oh, there's a friend. It doesn't look that great. If you want to get nice looking mirrors, you're going to have to spend around $400 for some Rosomas. So I haven't bought them yet. I'm kind of just like living with it right now. I've been thinking about not having mirrors at all and getting mirror black-offs, but I haven't yet because I like to know when my GoPro's recording, so I always look in the mirrors myself, and I don't really want to spend $400 on mirrors. I'd rather buy a belly pan or something like that, like a carbon belly pan. So that's really number 3. It's a little finicky one. I just like it irks me a lot, so I had to say it. Number 4, and this might not matter to you, I'm also being finicky to my personal experience of this bike. It is very tall, and I am 5'6", and I am on my absolute tippy toes driving this bike. I've learned to stop on one foot and all that stuff. I've learned to lean the bike and stop on a foot. I've been known how to do that since my 600. But you know, there's something different about flat footing the bike in general. If you were to be 3 inches taller, so 6, 7, 8, 9, around 5'9", 5'10" would be ideal. You can easily flat foot this bike. But for short riders like me, look at this. That's like to my waist. Yeah, this is my waist. So, and that's it being leaned. So standing up's even a little bit taller, right? So it's very tall of a bike. I know this is a finicky one, right? I've thought about it a lot. It is very tall. Very, very, very tall. And I'm going to add another one for number 4 because number 5 is different. The passenger, I don't have the passenger seat on right now, obviously. It's not comfortable for them. Obviously, this is a sport bike. This is a super bike, if you want to say it that, but it is. I have a girlfriend. She loves to ride my motorcycle with me, and she is very uncomfortable the whole time. The whole time with the passenger seat on. Right now, I said I do not have the passenger seat on, but I do have one, and it is very uncomfortable for her. The seat is probably, I'm not even kidding, it's probably like this big for her butt. So if you have a bigger girl, and I'm not trying to be mean, if you have a bigger girl, her ass is gonna be hanging over like the plastics on the seat. It's very uncomfortable for her. It's pretty uncomfortable for you too, sitting down, but like I said, again, this is a race bike. What do you expect, right? So that's a little bit finicky. So that's all number 4. I added 3 and 1 for you guys. Number 5 is maintaining this motorcycle. This goes for everybody. It is super, super expensive. Very, very, very expensive. And they do that because you know that you don't want to fuck up the warranty, right? The warranty on this bike is really big. Basically, if the engine blows up or something like that, if you didn't do anything wrong, they will replace a whole engine for you for how many miles? I forgot how many miles. I think it's like 3 years or something like that if this engine blows up. If you don't do any mods to it, if you don't do this to it, if you don't do that to it, they will replace a whole engine. But like I said, with all the other ones, like the exhaust, you're going to want to get a different exhaust. You're spending $25,000 on a motorcycle. You're going to want to get a different exhaust. You're going to want it to sound good. You're going to want it to turn heads and stuff like that. If you don't, you don't. You're going to want to get a tune. You want it to be as fast as it can, right? And the tune just like stops the restrictions. It doesn't, make it go way faster than what it was intended to be, right? But anyways, the maintenance-wise, my first maintenance thing, I forgot the exact numbers, but I know in the ballpark to take off the limiter at 600 miles was $420, right? That was crazy. I mean, to do an oil change, whatever, $100 oil change, and then to simply plug in their thing to the ECU and take off the limiter was $300 and whatever dollars it was, just to take off the limiter, just for the first thing. The second one, and I went to a different source because I'm not spending $400 every time that I bring this bike in. Like, I know it's a toy, but holy shit, man. You know what I mean? I put a lot of miles on my bike. I'm not spending $400 on something every time I bring it in. The second time I brought this bike in, I had 3,000 miles on the bike, and I like to change. I'm very adamant on changing my oil on my motorcycles, on all my toys, on everything at 3,000 miles. I'm very, very, very adamant on it. Synthetic oil, I don't really believe it. I don't care. Call me old school. I'm only 21. I just don't believe it that much. If I had synthetic, I'd probably go every 5,000 miles. But this is a sport bike. I'm pretty sure they recommend every 6,000 miles for an oil change, but I do not believe that. So I went in for 3,000 miles anyways. Sorry about that. I went in for 3,000 miles oil change, and they quoted me for an oil change, just an oil change. I said I just want an oil change. They quoted me $420 because they said, oh, well, in the manual, it says that I have to tighten in some bolts and stuff like that. I don't want you to tighten no fucking bolts, all right? This came from Germany, wherever it came from, on a crate. You're telling me that when you brought it to the dealership for the first time, you didn't tighten down every single bolt to make sure it's torqued down to spec? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And now you're just trying to, like, hustle me for money? So they try to make you, so you're giving them so much money because you're scared to fuck up the warranty. I said, no, fuck you. I'm not doing that shit. So I went myself to another dealership and I said, put BMW oil in this bike. And they quoted me $120. And I said, if you want, you can tighten down some bolts. I'll spend a little bit extra, not $300 extra. And they even tightened down the main components of the bike, like the rear axle, all that stuff. Yeah, like some on the covers and stuff like that. I don't believe they took off the airbox and all that stuff for the heads. But they quoted me $120. They didn't end up tightening up the bolts, but they did for like little ones that they didn't have to take apart. And they didn't even charge extra for that because it's so routine maintenance. And like I could have done it, but I honestly don't have the tools for this bike because it's a German bike and I need to get, all the weird tools that it comes. So that is the fourth thing. It is super duper 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 expensive to maintain this bike. I mean, it is an expensive bike. What do you expect? But I mean, for a kid like me, 21, spent a lot of their money on this bike. You're not trying to spend, let's just say, $5,000 a year on just maintaining the bike, because that is absolutely insane. If you guys want to go and spend that money, that's on you. That's your money. You do what you want. But personally, me, no, I don't believe in that. I think that dealerships are just trying to screw you, in other better terms, and they're trying to get as much money out of you as they can. So with that being said, that was 5 things I hate about the 2023 S1000. I know 2 of them were kind of iffy for some people, but that is 5 things that I hate about the 2023 S1000. Not that you hate, that I personally hate. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment anything that you guys like want an answer to. I can answer it. I've owned this bike for a while now, since February actually. I have 4,000 miles on this bike. It's a beautiful bike. I love this bike. Don't take this video wrong. I absolutely love this bike. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, I probably would for the world, right? But don't take this video the wrong way. I absolutely love this bike. It's a beautiful bike. It's a beautiful machine, and it does everything that I ask and more. But, you know, you always have something that you don't like about a motorcycle or a toy in general. So comment down anything that you have below. If you want questions or you disagree, I'm happy to read it. Make sure to use my code S1KDK on Brentune for 5% off of any purchase on that website. It helps me out a lot. It helps you out a lot. And that doesn't just go for the S1000. That goes for 1,000 cc's in general. If you have a 1,000 or a newer bike in general, I should say, it does it for R7s, R1s, Gixxer 1000s. I could name off all of them. I just don't know all of them. Follow my Instagram, S1K_DK. I'm at 16,000 followers on that now. Thank you guys so much for 1,500 subscribers, by the way. Woo! We did it, man. We did it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.